TV shows. This week in TV, we have Sandman on Netflix to talk about, Silk on Amazon Prime to talk about, plus Witches, the Scott Snyder Image comic, is in the TV section for some reason. So yeah, let's get into all of the things. Hello, nerds! This is the weekly TV news show. Not like the evening news with Tom Brokaw. No, nothing like that. This has more to do with TV shows, nerdy-oriented TV shows, as well as episodic content that you will find on streaming platforms. If this is your kind of thing, then you can check out the full episode that I like to call The Week in Nerddom that covers all spectrum of pop culture and just generally nerdy things over on the main channel. You can find it linked down in the description or at the end of this video. All of that being said, let's talk about TV shows and nerdy stuff like that. Starting with follow-ups and corrections. Our first follow-up has to do with Sandman. We have season 2 casting things. Adrian Lester, who you might remember from Euphoria, if you watched it. I didn't watch Euphoria, but he was also technically in Spider-Man 3, though his scene was deleted. He will be playing Destiny. Esme Greed Miles will be playing Delirium. I didn't find any nerd cred for her. Barry Sloane was in Darren Aronofsky's Noah back in 2014, so that was kind of really the biggest nerdy thing from him. Prodigal is who he will be playing. Obviously, they are joining Tom Sturridge as Dream, Kirby as Death, Mason Alexander Park as Desire, and Donna Preston as Despair. Yeah, season 2. Super stoked for it. Let's move on. Our next follow-up has to do with the Silk series that we were talking about over on Amazon Prime is not actually going to be coming out anymore. The Amazon Prime only bought the rights to greenlight if they liked the script. Apparently, they did not like the script, so they are not going forward with this Spider-Man spin-off series. Though, Sony is still trying to shop it around to other streaming services, so it's not completely dead just yet, just probably. All right, that's what we have for follow-ups and corrections. Let's talk about some regular news real quick. Only piece we got this week is Scott Snyder's Witches. Witches is getting an animated series on Amazon Prime. Not just that, though. I think we might have already talked about that piece. So the new piece about that, assuming we have talked about it, because I can't remember, and I didn't go through the notes like I should have. I know, I'm sorry, I was rushing. Either way, it is going to be, they're starting season 2 very soon, according to Scott Snyder. So starting season 2 means they're in the pre-planning stages, and they will be hitting the writer's room very soon, is specifically more what he said. So very likely we're seeing at least 2 seasons of Scott Snyder's Witches, which is it's horror. I mean, if you didn't kind of gather that from the title, or if you've never read the comic book, horror and animated horror, very interesting. Gonna see where that one goes. I mean, the Junji Ito stuff over on Netflix worked out super well, so here's to hoping that Scott Snyder can do the same thing over on Amazon Prime. That's though what we have for regularized news. Let's talk about suggestions this week. We have TV suggestion is Big Bang Theory. I've been watching way too much Big Bang Theory this week, and you should join me because I don't care what the overly sensitive type people are. It is not nerds as punchline. It is nerds as sitcom characters. It's kind of like the peak of us being trendy, kinda, sorta, in a way. Though how many friggin' physicists do you know in your nerdy circles, right? Most of us are just comic book readers and really obsess about certain things that we like a lot. So either way, I love the show. I really see nothing wrong with poking fun at yourself from time to time, even if it is, other people's idea of what would be poking fun at you. I dig it. I guess we can have a conversation about it if you disagree with me down in the comment section, but either way, that's your suggestion for TV this week. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means, just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.